All right. Welcome everybody to another Dragalia Lost video. I think what I'm going to do today, so you can see that I have my emulator up and running. I'm running on LD Player, and so videos are a little bit easier to record for me. I think what I want to try to do is kind of make a series about good 4-star units, good maybe even 3-star units, although there aren't very many 3-star units that I would really invest in, because I think there are enough 4-star units that will outshine them. But I think there are a few 4-star units that are going to be better than whatever we have, like as a 5-star for that color especially. They'll fill some roles. And so I am, if you guys have been watching my other videos, I am farming for high Midgard Stormers. So you probably will be able to guess that one of the characters that I'm going to cover is Vanessa, because Vanessa is who I'm going to be trying to gear up for that event. However, in gearing up Vanessa, I'm trying to build a light, a fire 5-star elemental axe. And there are only 2 places to get these things. That I think you need 200 in order to build the 5-star elemental axe, and I still need quite a few of them. And these are these little axe. I still need 140. So yep, that is not going to be fun. But unfortunately, the only 2 places that they come in is water and light onslaught. Water is probably the better place to farm it, because only 3 types of those weapons drop. Light is the only one that I can kind of easily do, but unfortunately 4 different weapons drop in that. So we will be farming light, and as a result, I found my Nefaria was very lacking when kind of trying to carry these pug groups in the light onslaught. And it's mainly because of the lack of blindness resistance. So looking through some of the dark characters, I have decided to focus on this guy. And this guy is pretty sweet. In case you guys don't know, this is Kleinmann that I have kind of highlighted on my first page. And he's going to be the first guy that I cover in this series, and we'll see how many more we can cover. But so why Kleinmann? So let's look at his kit and kind of how we can kind of get the most out of his kit. We'll scroll down to the dark characters, and so you'll see here, these are the dark characters that I have. My Neff was my very first 5-star. I kind of went all in on her. She's like at 3,700. I think my Kleinmann's actually past her right now. And I really didn't. Yeah, sure, she's great for farming for Jupiter, for the Jupiter Master Dragon. She blinds at full HP, although it's kind of rare to just be sitting at full HP. Against Jupiter, you can, because Jupiter should never hit you. But yeah, the paralysis resistance is awesome against that. In that encounter, blinded Punisher when she lands her blind. Her kit synergizes really well with itself, and so she's good. But I did find her lacking in the onslaught, namely, just not enough DPS, because she was just constantly getting blinded. So I decided to look through my dark characters and who was blind resist. So we ended up choosing Kleinmann. And so we'll look at his kit. He is a 4-star. I guess I haven't promoted him yet, apparently. And that's fine. So he has Shadow Shackle, which deals shadow damage to enemies right in front of him. It's a fairly skinny skill shot, let's call it. It does have a travel time. I wouldn't say it's the greatest of skill shots, but it does hit fairly hard. And as you'll see, the way you weave with this guy's weapon, it actually works out pretty good. His next skill is Forbidden Sphere, and it will put these guys to sleep. We'll take a look at its base chances in Gamepedia here in a bit, but on the light boss in the Imperial Onslaught, it puts them to it's a great interrupt. It puts them to sleep, and the sleep actually acts like a stun. It's not a crowd control. It's not like a soft CC effect that's like Mez or something broken when they take damage. No, they're just straight stunned for like 4 seconds, and you can just wail on them. So that's always nice. Let's see. As we get Induced Passives, it's skill damage. This is okay. This obviously will get kind of outshined by the Lilies and the Maribels of the world, but nothing in dark. So this will bring some skill damage to your team. Occasionally you'll see Lilies in Imperial Onslaught Light. I don't really like it, but once they start to like kind of get to that 4K, it doesn't really matter because they're great for the AoE wave clear when he pops ads at like phase 3. But all right, and so this is his. Oh wow, I don't even have a skill. This guy definitely can get some buffs. I don't even have his skill damage unlocked. But as you'll see here, his force, and I think he's one of the only characters that gets this. There might be an archer somewhere that gets this, but this force strike plus 40% is basically his bread and butter. And of course, he's blindness resist by 100%. So there's definitely he can baste in the purple. It doesn't do a lot of damage to him. You just want to keep line of sight on the boss in Imperial Onslaught as much as possible, and you will just output, especially if you weave in your force strikes. Yeah, that's not really interesting. So let's bring this page over here a little, and so we got the character list here, and we'll see Kleinmann is right here, the mad scientist. He's listed as a support unit, and that's because he blinds, I think. He offers a debuff, so I think the debuff characters get listed as support. I'm not 100% sure. It's either that or it's just an arbitrary listing that affects kind of their stat allocation. But if we're going to sort them by HP, which I like to do, let's see. Berserker is up here. Of course, you have the triumvirate of light. All right, it's my mic cutting out. I really don't know why it does that. So then you have Berserker, you have Nefaria. These are all high, very, very high HP characters. And you come down the list, and then you have Orion. He's also a support unit. And there's Kleinmann. So 761 compared to someone like the highest HP characters, 800s. That's, about a 10% cut in HP. But you go to your strength. Let's sort him by strength. 520. Going down the list, fire, wind, water, wind. There's good old Vanessa. And there's Kleinmann. Boom. The first dark character on the list if you sort it by strength. So he has a higher output than Nefaria. I mean, just straight off of possible strength. And I think you'll see that his abilities also hit a little bit harder. I'm not going to really get into a pure comparison, but if we do look at his abilities, here's Kleinmann. 4-star, let's look. Shadow Shackle, it's fairly cheap at 2008. It's under 3K, and it hits for 984% of his strength. So that hits pretty good. And then you have Forbidden Sphere, 2 hits of 419. So again, we're in like kind of the 800%, and it inflicts sleep for 3 to 5 seconds with 100% base chance. So you're essentially, it's going to sleep the mob, or let's just call it a stun because it is what it is. It's going to stun him, I'd say, right around 75 to 80% of the time on the bosses, because the bosses have kind of an inherent resist chance. But I mean, it will apply every single time, absent the boss resisting. Let's see, his skill damage goes up to 11. You know what? 11%. Is that even outshined by Lily? I'm not really sure. 11% is pretty good for a co-ability. And then of course we have his force strike by 30, blindness by 100, and skill damage by 20%. So I mean, this dude, he is built around DPS, and his kind of bread and butter level is going to be that light onslaught. How to build this guy? So when we're building him, we let's see, what do we got on ours? We have, of course, the 4-star elemental dark weapon. It gives you a third DPS skill. I'm not really sure what it does. It's not the greatest. It takes a long time to build up, but it is a little bit of a burst here and there. And right now I'm using Juggernaut. I don't have enough copies of Nidhogg. He's kind of hard to get to fully unbind him. My Juggernaut is fully unbound, and he's I don't know. I think he's level 80. Yeah, he's level 80. So this guy's a pretty good DPS dragon. He's at 45% shadow strength. Nidhogg, I think, obviously is going to be a better choice. I think in the end you might get 30% strength and 30% HP, so it'll make your Kleinmann a lot more tanky. But DPS is kind of the name of the game right now, and there's no reason to be any tankier than he already is in light onslaught. I mean, maybe if you want to take him off element to something because he's your main DPS, then you might want a little bit of HP, but there's really no reason. You just kind of want to focus on damage. Let's see, as far as worm prints that synergize really well with this guy, let's take a look. So remember, his passive, his kind of unique shtick is his force strike, and the ability to kind of 1-click, 2-click, and then not be locked down into those slow bolt animations that you often get with like Lily and Maribel. You're basically just going to be 1-click, 2-click, and then force strike. And this guy's force strike, it feels very smooth. It charges quickly. It is line of sight, but it also fires very quickly. So you can very efficiently weave it into to your attacks, and you break bosses very quickly once they're in their whatever berserker state. I forget the name of that, but let's see, Kleinmann. All right, so when you're thinking about worm prints, you're going to want to think of how to synergize well, what synergizes well with his inherent abilities. So you want stuff that kind of goes off of your force strike. So right off the bat, let's look at force strike 40, 50. Like, geez, who's got 50? Xander. Oh, yeah. That's it for that. I believe, let's look at, this is the first one we might find on a worm print is 30%. Worm print, Night Stalker and Warrioress. Warrioresses. So Night Stalker, people might be familiar with this. This is the Hawk kind of signature worm print. It gives you force strike by 40, and it reduces your freeze chance by 25%. And like this is awesome if you don't have a good freeze resistant wind character and you're trying to do the water onslaughts. But again, if you don't need this freeze resistance, then this is outside of the higher stats you might get from maxing a 5-star max unbound worm print. Freeze resistance is a wasted stat. It's not going to help your DPS at all. So what I recommend, if you're trying to focus on force strike, take the easier option and go with the Warrioresses. And this is a pure DPS option. You only get force strike by 30, but it is a 4-star worm print, so it's going to be a lot easier to max unbind. It's going to be easier to level up and find, and then you also get 10% extra crit damage. So you trade out 10% force strike damage for 10% crit, and you don't get that freeze resistance. So I guess if you're thinking about just pure numbers, you could probably take the 40% from the Night Stalker, but you're talking about a 5-star worm print. So this is just going to be a little bit easier to find. Let's see. And then, of course, you could always kind of also build towards the skill damage. And if you're going to try to focus on skill damage, you're definitely going to need to unlock his mana circle in order to get his skill damage passive that you see. Where is Senor Kleinmann? How do you click on Mr. Kleinmann? Yeah, there you go. So this skill damage passive will be on his 5th mana circle, and you're going to need to promote him to 5 stars. But if you do and you want to focus on his skills, because his skills do hit fairly hard, then what you can do is go for one of these skill damage worm prints. And so I'll take let's take a 30%, 25%, and see what we find. So no worm prints for 30. All right, 25%. Luca's Prank, Plunder Pals, and Valiant Crown. We have no interest in Plunder Pals. This is just one of those Halloween ones. So let's look at Luca's Prank and Valiant Crown. And I think everybody knows Valiant Crown is one of the best kind of worm prints that's going around right now. I use it on all the Axe users. Love this thing because typically we have some sort of a defense buff, and it gives us strength when we give ourselves defense up, and you get 25% skill damage. So this is a great one. This is a little harder to get. Luca's Prank. So if you're worried about how far do you want to kind of unlock Kleinmann, how many mats do you want to kind of throw into this guy? This will be a good one, because this not only gives you 25% extra skill damage, but it also reduces your light damage. And so if you're building Kleinmann to farm Imperial Onslaught, this is the kind of card that this is not a wasted stat all of a sudden. This light resistance is just good. It's going to be good in Light Onslaught. It's going to be good if you're trying to run him in Jupiter. It's going to be good for any sort of raid that we happen to get, or some light event that in the future. So this is going to be a good card to kind of keep an eye on, just because it's got a very nice kind of universal defensive stat. And 8% is no joke. I mean, just 8% damage reduction. So are there any, let's see, let's take a look at 20%. Are there any 4-star worm prints that we could use? Tough Love. Okay, this is, again, I think more of a defensive one. So we have skill damage 20%. And this is also a 5-star. So, and then Last Offense. That's what it is. There is a skill that basically when you kill people with Force Strike, you get strength. And I believe it's permanent. And if I can remember what it's called, Slayer's... Is it Slayer's Strength or Slayer's Skill? I think it's Slayer's Skill. Slayer's Strength. No. What is this thing called? It definitely exists. Ah, there it is. It's what Xander has? Okay. Apparently it's in Xander's built around 4 strike, so... 4 strike, 50%. All the dragon buff. Okay. Is it strike? Striker's skill. But that's only on Berserker. Striker's strength. There we go. 4%. Together we stand. This is also a Wyrmprint that's going to synergize very well with Kleinmann. And it gives you skill damage, 15%, not the greatest, right? It's not 20 or 25. However, it also gives you this 4% for every 3 enemies defeated up to 5 times. So this is just, you're going to be force striking a lot, as you'll see in this video, because at the end of it, we're gonna run a light onslaught. Hopefully we get lucky, or we don't get unlucky like we did last time at the end of the Midgard video. So yeah, this is going to be, especially in these onslaughts, there are lots of adds. We're going to be 20% extra strength for the rest of the quest. You know, after like maybe the first pop or the second pop. For every 3 enemies defeated 5 times, so 15 dudes killed with our 4th strike. So you'll definitely have to keep it in mind, you know, 1 2 1 2 4 strike to get the kill shot. But yeah, so this is definitely a good Wyrmprint for Kleinmann. Honestly, I think it might be probably better than the Warrior S's. Let's see. I don't think I have it at max unbind. Let's see. Together we stand. It's definitely equipped on someone. But yeah, I have it, you know, one unbind. I've not gotten lucky. I mean, it's even got Berserker on the card, so that's pretty sweet. All right. So that's pretty much how you want to focus Kleinmann. And let's take a gander at how effective this guy actually is. So mine's level 59. He does have the nice weapon. He's, you know, mediocre. 3,500. Doesn't have his 5th circle unlocked. But you'll see that he has absolutely no problems in light onslaught. So I only have 2 wings. Let's get some wings because I don't want to host. It is 1246. Do I have, oh no, it's 1146. We good. Gotta make sure I do all my, my kind of bonus dailies or whatever. So let's do a, co-op. Hopefully we can find one. There are not a lot of, people kind of running this. So, but yeah. Yeah, Kleinmann, super good. He's definitely going to be a good addition to your team. Probably easier to get than Nefaria. What do we have here? We have. How wonderful! All right, and you know that right there kind of brings up another point. He's not a waifu. He's kind of cool. He's got a good voice. He doesn't sound like a girl or anything. He's a cool character. He's got a mask. It's like a Cortez type pirate sort of guy. He's always talking about the treasure, and he's a cool character. I've yet to actually play a Berserker. I kind of want to hear if he screams Berserker the whole time. All right, zoom out, and so let's go. Whoop. Let's just start. You know, there we go. Crit and 4th strike. So we clean out those ads. Get in position here. All right, the next little purple thing's going to come from this side. We're going to want to sit right there. So here we're just like 1, 2, and 4 strike. Dodge. Kill these guys. What? Lots of ads here. Let's pop the AoE.
Time for my next experiment.
Alright, he's broken. I'm not going to dodge that because it's just, I just lose DPS by dodging that. You know, it doesn't do any enough damage. So just based in it.
Shackle.
And then you notice how it just, the little cross patterns alternate every other one. Alright, here come the ads. Let's dragon form. Got knocked up there.
Shackle.
Alright, he's moving out of line of sight, so let's go. We gotta get rid of some of these guys that are just permanently knocking us up. Ah! Alright, there's the sleep. See, look at him. He's just asleep, and we can just wail on him. Alright, so that wasn't the cleanest run, but as you can see, there's not a lot to be worried about. Your Cleo pops a few heals on you. You don't take that much damage. You don't have to worry about the blinds. You can sit and crap. The Orion, he gets blinded. He's got to dodge around, and he is an assassin, so he can kind of dart in and out. It's a little bit easier for him to maintain DPS uptime. But yeah, I mean, Kleinmann can just, just sit in it. He doesn't care. He's wearing a mask, so he can't get blinded anyway. Anyways, guys, and of course, not a single axe. I have been getting so many of these katanas and daggers and no axes. I still need 130. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this Kleinmann spotlight. I'm gonna try to do more of these. I think they're really useful. I think there are a lot of sleeper characters that are going to be good in specific encounters that people just aren't looking at because people want the easy money 5 stars. I don't know if they're even any better. They definitely have some higher base stats, but 30 strength at the end of the game is not going to make or break a character. You want him to be able to perform given the circumstances. So Kleinmann, definitely take a look at him. I believe he's probably even made the tier list, even though I tend not to pay too much attention. I think I saw him on one of the Japanese tier lists as possibly like top tier dark DPS. I don't see why he wouldn't be. But anyway, yeah, again, thanks for watching, and tune in for some more OP 4-star, 3-star characters if we can find any. All right, thanks, guys.